Sadaqallahul Azim.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, please welcome Sheikh Ahmed Deedat.
Alhamdulillahi wahda. Wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabi ba'da. Allahumma ya mufattihul abwab, wa ya musabbibul asbab, wa ya dalil al-hairin. Tawakkaltu alayka ya Rabbul Alameen. Wa ufawwidu amri ila Allah. Inna Allah basirun bil ibad. Mr. Chairman and my dear brothers and sisters, the topic, Christ in Islam. When for the very first time I mooted this subject in my own city of Durban, and I had a lecture delivered in the city hall, and when we advertised this topic, there was a consternation among the Christians in my country. That here is somebody coming along to produce another Christ. And at the very beginning of my talk in the city hall, I had to assure that part of my audience who were Christians that we Muslims have not got another Christ. There is only one Christ, and that is Jesus Christ. I had to assure them, calm them. So, where do we get this idea from about Jesus and the Christ? We go to our book of authority, the Muslim. He goes to the Holy Quran. And I'm suggesting to my brothers and sisters that each and every one of you, you need a copy of the Holy Quran, a translation like the one I have in my hand. This is by Abdullah Yusuf Ali. This book here has got the Arabic text, English translation, and commentary. And it has a very comprehensive index, makes things easy for you. Anything that you want to know in this book of God, you have everything on your fingertips. Do you remember, on Friday, I gave a talk here. And I mentioned about Jesus. That Jesus is mentioned in this volume 500% more times than Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Something unimaginable. You can't imagine. A man goes and writes a book, and he keeps himself out of it. He's promoting Jesus. Jesus 500% more time than himself. Does it make sense? Which writer, which biographer, authority writer will do a thing like that? No. This is not his work. If it was his work, then naturally he would have promoted himself. But now I said 500% more times. You remember that? Those of you who were here. Can somebody give me the figure? How many times is Jesus mentioned in this book of God? Please put up your hand. Don't shout. Just please put up your hand. I want you to present you with a book. How many times is Jesus mentioned in the Quran? Yes, my child. You, huh? 25 is right. Is mentioned in the Quran 5 times total. 4 times as Muhammad and 1 time as Ahmad, which is an alternative way of naming of the Prophet. Altogether 5. Jesus 25. Amazing, this book. Now where are you going to find this? In this encyclopedia of 2,000 pages, you're going to start paging through, looking for Jesus, 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 and you might have missed them all. All 25, you might not have come across a single one of them. No, what you do is you go to the index. At the back of this volume, there's a very comprehensive index. You go to the index and just like a dictionary, look for Jesus and a J. Everything about Jesus in the Quran. On your fingertips. I'm opening the index. Starts the first item, Jesus. under the heading Jesus, a righteous prophet. He's the true prophet of God. Chapter 6, verse 85. Second item, his birth, mentioned in two places. In Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, ayah 42 onwards. Chapter 19, verses 23 onwards. And on and on and on. Everything about Jesus on your fingertip. You don't have to start fumbling through, paging through, looking for Jesus or for Muhammad or for Moses for that matter. You'll get the shock of your life when I tell you this another mighty messenger of God, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, we call him Moses, the holy prophet Moses. I can't imagine anybody guessing. How many times is he mentioned in this book? The prophet of the Jews. No, he's our prophet. But the so-called, they say he's the prophet of the Jews. All right, the prophet of the Jews. How many times is Moses mentioned in this book? I don't know what to give you. This book is too little. Anybody can tell me, or anywhere near enough, Moses, how many times is Moses mentioned in this book? Huh? How much? 52. Anybody else? Not likely. I will give you this Quran at the end of the talk. If you can give me anywhere 10, within 10 of that number, within 10. Forget the exact number. Please don't shout. Just put up your hand. You. Huh? 100 times. You. Huh? 120. Come. No, it looks like I'll have to take this Quran back home to South Africa. 136 times. 136 times the Holy Prophet Moses is mentioned in this book. And you people are thinking that we are the Antichrist, we are the anti-Jews. This book is not anti-Jews nor anti-Christian. You are misjudging, doing injustice to this book. Obtain a book. Muslims and non-Muslims, you need this. You need this. To the Christians I say, even if you want to fight the Muslims, you need this book. Because this book will tell you now how the Muslims are thinking, so you can plan your strategies. If you know the man's book. So the Muslim needs it, and to the Muslim I'm suggesting that get this volume as quick as possible. It's the best investment you can make in your life. The best investment I made was to buy this book in 1935. In 1935, it cost me £5. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. It cost me £2 10 shillings. £2 10 shillings. That was 50% of my wages. Half my month's salary, I was getting £5 a month, and I paid £2 10 for it. 50. I have no regrets. Wallah, no regrets. He changed my life, and all this what I'm doing is because of reading this book. You ought to. My dear brothers and sisters, I suggest that you get this book and look up this subject, Jesus, his birth. His birth. The Qari, the reciter, he read these verses from the Holy Quran. And the young man, the translator, he translated it. But to make you to absorb that message, I will repeat them for you. But what I recommend is that you get this volume, look up the birth of Jesus, and memorize the verse. Memorize the verse, the ayah in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ with the meaning. It says, behold, the angel said, O Mary, inna Allah astafaki, Allah has chosen thee, wa taharaki, and purified thee, wastafaki ala nisa'il alameen, chosen thee above the women of all nations. Mary, the mother of Jesus, is described in the Quran as a woman chosen above the women of all nations. And I'm saying that this honor, this high honor, is not to be found given to Mary, the mother of Jesus, even in the Christian Bible, whether the Protestant version or the Roman Catholic version. I have them both. Nowhere you find anything like this. It continues. Ya Maryam uqnuti li rabbiki wasjudi warka'i ma'ar raki'in. So, O Mary, worship thy Lord devoutly, prostrate thyself and bow down in prayer with those who bow down. ذَلِكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الْغَيْبِ نُوحِيهِ إِلَيْكَ. This is part of the tidings of the things unseen which we reveal unto thee, O messenger, by inspiration. Memorize the meaning side by side. And once you have done that, the blessings, you know, every time we utter the words of the Quran, we are told that for every letter of the Quran that you utter, we get 10 sawabs, blessings. When we say Alif Lam Mim, this word, these letters, Alif Lam Mim, is not a word. Our Prophet said, it's not a word. There are 3 letters. Alif, separate, Lam, separate, Mim, separate. Alif, Lam, Mim. That's the beginning of Surah Baqarah, the 2nd chapter. Alif, Lam, Mim. It says, when you say Alif, Lam, Mim, for every letter you get 10 sawabs, blessings. When you say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, if you count the letters, there are 19. You get 190 sawabs, blessings. Each and every one of you are hearing it, you get 190 each. I get 190, and each and every one of you get 190. This is the one you have to do business with Him, with Allah. بِغَيْرِ hisab. You don't have to keep count. You just keep on, let Him keep the account. On the day of judgment, inshallah, Allah will give it to you. So, my brothers and sisters, you repeat these words. I haven't counted the letters. وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ. I didn't count them. I said, let Him keep the account. Allah, let Him keep the account. You just do your job. So blessings. Call this your neighbors. And after, while having tea, he says, sister, have you seen the Quran? She says, no. Would you like to have a look at it? She must say, have you got an English translation? He said, yes. No. Nobody says he doesn't want to see. It's the nature of man. We are all inquisitive by nature. You know, we want to know. So let us see. You bring the Quran, open it, chapter 3, verse 42. And if you can read Arabic, read it to them. Read this Arabic to them. You don't know what this Arabic is doing to them. This is Allah's kalam. It shakes up people, friends and foe alike. It shakes them up. And Allah tells us in the Quran, He says that when these our verses are recited to them, the sincere person says tears well up in their eyes. Really, I've seen it. The Roman Catholics especially. You recite the Quran. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَإِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ. And translate. Ya Maryam. And on. Translate it for them. Let them hear. And this will not convert them. A lifetime of rust, what has gathered, and prejudice, you can't remove this with a cup of tea and the kusistas. But, man, share it with them. Tell them that this is what the Quran says about your Jesus, that He is one of the mightiest messengers of God. We believe in His miraculous birth. In these verses that I read, it speaks about His miraculous birth. But as soon as I make up my mind to go to a foreign country, I want to master a bit of that nation's language. That's a hobby. It's a